Hey guys, so Hasan tells Ethan Klein to drop the lawsuits. Quote, drop the lawsuits, Ethan. You know they're frivolous. Nothing to do with copyright. You'll win a lot more good favor. I'm sure he's not going to lay off. Seems like a petty tyrant. So narcissistic. And this is coming from our good friend Hasan. Hasan is on live stream. And honest to God, this is such a bad take from Hasan. Hasan, he is guilty. They are guilty. Your friends, orbiters, are guilty of copyright infringement. Now, these are good questions asked by the Reddit. Win good favor with who? If Ethan were to stop, the hate would get even more insane because everyone would accuse him of knowing they were frivolous to begin with. So, yes, this is 100% the correct answer. Imagine if Ethan were to give up now based on what Hasan is saying, how they would absolutely attack him. Denims would be yapping crazy, Kaceytron be yapping like crazy, and then Frogan would come out for silence and yap like crazy. So who exactly would be benefiting from Ethan Klein dropping these lawsuits? It would be the free people that he is suing. And would any of them have any mercy on Ethan Klein? The answer is no. Because we saw how they behaved before they were sued, how Ethan Klein asked for a simple apology. None of them gave it. Many of them doubled down, tripled down, made fun of Ethan, attacked Ethan's wife. They acted inappropriately. They acted in their best interest to drum up donations, to drum up interest in their streams. You understand how it is. I understand how it is. Any YouTuber gets how it is. It's all fun and games until you get sued and the legal invoice has to be paid. I think this is what's happening now. The timeline does match perfectly. Once Kaceytron and Denims has to pay their law firm, which they had the retainer. Retainer probably is gone. They have to refill the retainer. And there's probably some type of legal invoice they have received at this point in time. They are no longer laughing. It is no longer a fun matter because from here on out, I believe Denims and especially Kaceytron, I'll get to Kaceytron a little later, they're going to use their own money. And that's something that influencers like Carl Jobs tried very hard not to do. Right, out of the $700,000 Carl Jobs had to pay his legal team, plus very few of it came from Carl Jobs himself. Right, it was raised from the fans, in a very similar fashion to these legal defense funds. But once the fan money runs out, then the Knots money runs out, it is a totally different feeling. That's when you feel pain. You do not feel pain when it is your fans donating to you and the checks you're writing are actually just donations that you received. Right? That actually is probably good for you. It's drumming up interest. It's getting your most adamant fans supporting you, cheerleading you, and being part of the lawsuit with you. So they're engaging your fans in a very, I would say one of the things we look at Chibi reviews that you can raise a lot of money, not just money, but also like people supporting you. Because when they give you $5 or $10, that may be a lot of money for them. That could be an hour of work after taxes. They are essentially saying, I'm interested in this case, go sue or go defend yourself. And there are other benefits. They might subscribe on Twitch. They might funnel you money other ways. This is one of my biggest complaints about the completionist. Yes, the money was donated to charity, but it doesn't account for the goodwill that was attributed to Gerard at the time. There is, I don't know if the term would be goodwill, but there is definitely fan support. When a fan donates money to a legal defense fund, what they're saying is, I believe in you. I'm going to continue to support you. Let's go to the end. So in my opinion, that fan money, based on how much money was raised and based on what stage the lawsuit is currently, and more importantly, based on the law firm. Their law firm is not cheap. Their law firm is a very good law firm. In fact, I would even make a claim, and maybe this is wrong. I would guess that their lawyers cost significantly more than Ethan Klein's lawyers and significantly more than Frogan's lawyers. Based on what I have been able to research on them, they are a litigation law firm. Litigation lawyers are much more expensive than normal lawyers or transactional lawyers, if you will. They are out of money, and this is why Hasan, in an effort to save these orbiters, because imagine you being an orbiter of Hasan, you're the next big YouTuber, the next, what's it called, the rising star on Twitch. That's the Frogan award that Ethan Klein wants to get from her in a settlement, I guess. The rising star of Twitch, 2 years in a row, by the way. And you want that person to support you. You want that person to talk about you. You want to have some, so it's actually very dangerous to be a Hasan orbiter, because if you do commit copyright infringement, you're not going to get away with it. You're going to get sued, and then you're not going to be offered settlement. And this is, at the end of the day, why Hasan probably wants Ethan to settle, because who does it benefit? Yes, it benefits Denims, Kaceytron, and Frogan directly, but indirectly it benefits Hasan, because Hasan can say, look at what I did, look at what I negotiated, look at, it's okay to be a fan of mine and an orbiter of mine, and so on. This thing is getting very real fast. And maybe it's not even a schedule. Sometimes, like for me, like when I see a schedule, you kind of like, oh, okay, it wasn't real until I saw there is a date for trial. There's a length of how much, there's numbers and dates associated with the lawsuit now. Now, those numbers and dates can change, but the fact that they even exist should be very scary to somebody being sued as a defendant who doesn't have money, because they're like, hey, I've spent all this money already and nothing really has happened. And now I have to spend money. Basically, in your mind, you're looking at that trial date, which most likely than not will be moved back. And you're saying, okay, so if I'm paying my legal team $10,000 a month, how many months until trial ends? And even if trial ends, do I have to pay Ethan's lawyer that much money? Do I have to pay the statutory damages of $150,000? This is all very concerning stuff that was not concerning just a few days ago. Kaceytron is crying about this. These are things where it gets real. It's all fun and games when other people are donating money to you. Just ask Carl Jobs. When other people are donating money to you and you're spending their money. But once you spend a dime of your own money as an influencer, right? This is the whole Chibi reviews. I can go down the list of every influencer who's raised money in this way. You are going to feel a very different type of pain than when you're spending a GoFundMe legal defense. That pain will hurt you. It will hurt your soul, because, like Carl Job says, I'm only in it for the money. These influencers are only in it for the money. And if you really want to hurt an influencer whose full-time living or a large chunk of their living is based on YouTube ad revenue, sponsorships, and so on, you hurt them in their wallet, right? And that's what Ethan Klein has decided to do. Hasan is trying to step in before they spend too much money. He's probably got complaints from Kaceytron. He's probably talked to Kaceytron and Denims, as they are the first two to undergo this process. Frogan eventually will also undergo a process where the legal bills will be greater than the money coming in from the GoFundMe. And the GoFundMe, the structure of it is very interesting. You raise a lot of money in the beginning, but afterwards you don't really raise that much more money. You can kind of see the slow drip of money coming in, but there's no like larger donations. You can cry about it. You can laugh about it. It's not going to help. Those legal bills from your own lawyers. Let me say this again. The biggest danger of going bankrupt is from your own lawyers. Your own lawyers, they're going to get paid. They will get paid. If it takes you to mortgage your home, in fact, in most cases, if you have to declare bankruptcy, even the plaintiff who sued you may not get paid. See Carl Jobs and Billy Mitchell. but your lawyers already got paid. They already had retainers in place, which is you prepaying for services that they haven't yet rendered. So when they do render these services, sometimes without your explicit permission, they just take the money out of the retainer. And when the retainer runs dry, again, you prepaid for all these services that they rendered you, they will then ask you to prepay yet again. So Hasan is essentially begging even Klein to do something that would probably destroy him. It's very sad that Hasan has to go to that length, that Hasan himself is not going to put in his own money into any of these free individuals' the legal defenses. But again, this is what I'm going to tell you. Hasan is very proud of how much money he makes. He brags about it all the time. This is the same with Carl Jobs. This is the same with this is the same with Chibi Reviews. This is the same with every influencer who sets up a GoFundMe for legal purposes, specifically ones like this, where it's obviously night and day, where they're certainly guilty of copyright infringement. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a like if you like it. Bye, guys.